101.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
It's time for Tell It to Stanya. It's all about you. Ooh, let's peel away the layers and focus on you. Ooh, what's going on inside? Let's talk about love and truth and the matter of who we are. Let's find out together on Tell It to Stanya.
Pleasant good afternoon. Tell it to Stanya. That's right. I am she and she is me. And boy, y'all know who in studio with me. You know what I feeling? And I feeling like I feel like this I feeling like it's story time would be on TikTok. Part 33. That's how I feeling, y'all. But y'all know who in studio with me. And we were talking about islands. Mm-hmm. That's right. Now I have to say, the number one island in the Bahamas. You know what the number one island is in the Bahamas, right?
I would say Abaco.
Hands
down.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm. Listen, Lutra. Lutra is the number one island in the Bahamas.
Lutra. But for me, I'm going to be a bit biased because, I was living there for a time and I love it. I've been to Lutra too. Mm-hmm. And I actually have my aunts and cousins who also live in Lutra as well. Right. But Lutra is beautiful. But, Abaco for me, it resonates like a little peaceful home, like your retirement. Once you're done working and putting in all the hours and the years, it's like, okay, now it's time for me now to migrate to Abaco and live there and live out my life. I love Abaco.
I see that. That's how I feel about like Luther. And okay, my dad is from Harbour Island and my mom is from Andros. Mm-hmm. But my grandmother would have passed when I was maybe like less than one. Mm-hmm. And so, grandmother is normally like, who will take you around, blah, blah, blah. So in a way, we definitely spent more time with my dad's mother, who's from Harbour Island. So all the Harbour Island people, her family would come up, stay with her. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we would go down during the summers on the current pride in the daybreak. Listen, okay?
That's right.
Yeah, but, but the Luther is so different because you have different kinds of people.
Yeah, the settlements.
Not only like different kind of people, they sound different.
Oh, yeah.
They look different. Mm-hmm. Like I saw this guy, and so I say you from Ilutre. Mm-hmm. So he say, yeah. I say, I bet you from. I say you from Tappan Bay.
Yeah,
so he say, how you know that? I want to say, well, you see what color you is.
And you can always tell green turtle people accent. Yeah. You can tell the Bryland accent.
It's different.
And that's so unique about it.
And to me, okay, North Eleuthera is definitely like Lower Bogue. Hi, Cash family. That's my daughter family. Mm-hmm. But they're different. The North is different from Central. Central is different from South.
That's right.
But although, believe it or not, even though my family is from Bryland, I actually prefer to be on the mainland. Yeah. And I love the deep south. I love rock sound. Yeah, man, I love down there. Rock sound. It's amazing.
But anyhow, why I would choose Abaco too is because I'm also thinking about the escape. Mm-hmm. If you have to travel.
Well,
for me,
Abaco is very modern.
It is very modern.
Yeah.
Like if I have to travel and I have to do an escape getaway, I don't have to come to Nassau.
Right.
Because there are international flights that are
direct,
there as well that takes you direct to where you need to go. But just ensure that you have your visa.
Yeah. Abaco is definitely nice, and as we all know, or you should know, historically speaking, they was trying to be off from us.
Absolutely.
They was trying to get away from being the Bahamas.
Yes, they were.
But yeah, Abaco. At one point, I wanted to move there too, but.
Very resilient people.
I know, man. Too much going on in Abaco for me, though. I know. Give me a Lutra.
No, I think it made it worse after post-Orient.
You think so?
Yeah, so many different caliber people now start migrating to the island, one for work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one for work, and so after they're done working, they decide to stay.
So you're trying to say the Nasuvians mess of Abaco?
It's a mixture, It definitely is a mixture. A person from different islands, Yeah. But I love Abaco. I'll be biased with Abaco.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. You know which island I also really like? I like Long Island.
Yeah.
But then people can cook down there, boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some good food.
They could kick up a happy hour time, too.
Boy. I won't say nothing. Listen, I remember, what was it now? I remember going there and we're leaving. Our flight was like first thing in the morning, right? And you know, the local people of Long Island, y'all want something to drink? And listen, and they wasn't talking about Kool-Aid.
No, ma'am.
He was like,
No,
it
ma'am.
ain't 8
And
o'clock
they
yet.
serious.
How you mean?
Serious,
Dead serious?
Stanya, they dead serious. They ain't joking. And if you ain't take it on your way to the
Drink it
airport.
before you go. Yes.
There you go. So about yourself.
Long Island, I love y'all, but y'all for the streets. Y'all out on the bad. But I feel that Exuma too much.
I love Exuma.
Honestly, I know Exuma. I know that I know what to say. I feel like, anyway, I behaving myself. This is another Saturday where Stanya is behaving herself. That's right. Anyhow, you know, last week, like I said, I feeling like this is like a TikTok story time with 13 parts to it. But this today is going to be the last part of it because we are entering into March. And by the way, March is International Women's Day. Yes, Women's Day, guys. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be, where am I speaking? I'm on a panel at Atlantis. That's right.
Nice.
Take that.
Drop
Tell it
the
to
info.
Stanya. That's right. So, but you know, it has been, this is the third time that you've been on.
And you found me on TikTok.
Yes, I did. I did find you on TikTok. And the thing about it is that it's interesting, guys. I did not think that we would be here for three episodes, but we are here. Like I said, this feels like a Lifetime movie type of thing. Story time TikTok part 33. But based on the last time you were here, you know, we found out that the ex-husband, somebody calling Brittany, we found out that the ex-husband was with the best friend. We have a caller. Well, they better get this calling before we start. I don't know if that's a caller. That's somebody calling for me, Britt? Okay, no, that ain't for me. Okay. But you said that there were a lot of things that would have happened in between the divorce, in between the family meeting that you guys eventually had. So now before we get to that juice, that little gravy, let's go back a couple months. And you only was married, you say, less than 24 months.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go back now. It's already starting to fall apart. You're not really going to church. You had the baby. It's worse now. You're not, quote unquote, falling in line. You're questioning the religion. You're trying to, you don't want to be part of it. Okay, so now what happens?
Okay, so, you know.
What did we miss?
I would have been the one to initiate the divorce process because at this point I'm fighting against a wall. And it's not breaking. So no matter what conversations I would have had, he refused to say, okay, let's acquiesce and let's fix this together. So it didn't happen. So eventually I ended up filing for divorce. He did not come to any of our divorce proceedings until it came to the ancillary matters because we would have had some things, some assets attached to each other, right? And so that would have been the only time that he would have shown up to court.
So, well, hold on now. So during this time, y'all are living, you're still living together. Are y'all sleeping in the same bed?
No, separate.
So at this point, y'all are not in the same bedroom?
No, separate.
Okay, and day to day, like, are y'all talking? Like, this always is, I find this very fascinating.
It was weird.
Like,
It was weird.
Are y'all talking while y'all are in the home?
I would be courteous. You know, I would say good morning, good afternoon, because it don't take nothing just to say it. Whether you respond to me or not, it doesn't matter.
But he's responding
and he would
as
respond
well.
back.
Okay.
All right, so we both would be courteous or whatever. Or sometimes I don't see him because of his work schedule, or sometimes I don't really see him later because of my work schedule. And sometimes when I go pick up the kids, I'll stay by mommy and chill for a minute and then go home.
So, okay, so you said, hey, hon, well, I don't know if you call him hon, but I'm going to file for divorce. Like, did y'all talk about it?
Because at this point, there was no reconciliation with him.
Because he said he didn't want to do the counseling outside with the pastor.
Yeah. You know, no matter how much I tried to speak to him and try to see if we could come on to find some kind of common ground, it didn't matter to him because as far as he's concerned, he's not interested in it. He's not interested in it, not knowing that there was another hidden agenda that would have prevented him from saying, like, let me now fight for, I wouldn't say prevent, but there was a hidden agenda, unbeknownst to me, which it was revealed after the fact, you know, that, hey,
the reason why you really didn't want to fight for your family because you actually was in a relationship with my best friend.
Okay. Okay, and by the way, guys, if you want to send a comment, you can send me a message 422-4796. That's 422-4796. I believe that is, I think that's yeah, man, that's must be the WhatsApp line too, guys. But send me a text message 422-4796 or a WhatsApp message. You know, I just discovered we got WhatsApp going on here. So if you want to comment or ask a question, you want me to ask a question, send it in. That's right, because child, all of us invested at this point. Okay, hello. Okay, so all right, so now
I filed for divorce.
Uh-huh.
And so, and the grounds of it was based on cruelty because it was a lot of things that was transpiring. So anyhow, and so when I filed for the divorce and everything, he got served. And he eventually saw the summons. And so when he got home one day, so he's like, so you're filing for a divorce? I said, you never wanted to fight for this marriage. So it makes no sense us continuing this journey together if you wish not to be a part of this union that we have. And so all his response was like, okay, basically like a nonchalant.
Okay, hold on, Rachel. We have a caller on the line. Now, because we wasn't taking calls because we got to get the story. Y'all look like y'all want to come back for another day. But let's take this call before we get deep into it. You're a little scary. Okay, come, let's go. Don't worry. You see this? You see this Brittany controlling the board, but I got my little drop off button right here. And you see this little finger I got here? That's right. Just click on the drawer.
Oh, you mustn't know right now.
That's right.
Cut it.
That's right. Okay, so caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mom. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Yes. Yes, Stanya. How you doing? I'm calling because I'm the husband.
You serious?
And I want to just make one thing clear. I'm not trying to be rude. I am not calling to be disrespectful. But I am calling to say that there's two sides of a story.
Yes, sir.
Am I allowed to say?
Listen, give Brittany your phone. Man, but I like to put people here.
Come on the show.
Totally together, but I need you to come on the show. You ready to come on the show, sir?
I don't have no problem doing it, no. But that's one she gave. I able to catch the last portion of your show
last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I normally listen to your show when you used to be on the weekdays.
Okay.
But I don't really call in the talk radio show or comment the talk radio show. And the only reason I wanted to call in is because for some reason my ex-wife is leaving out a lot of part of her story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out, I'm not trying to be, like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm trying to figure out before doing all this what we had going on, right? Obviously, you wanted my attention, so I'm giving you my attention, right? So I'm trying to figure out when after all that happened, you said what you tried to control it, and I would have said one part of it, but I'm trying to figure out before the divorce, right? You leaving out the part of you and this fella that you were saying that was living in Camp Road.
No.
And before me and my wife now ever got together, it was you and him, and then you had the other person you see on the side after this fella. So I'm trying to figure out I didn't say anything to you or had anything to comment on your relationship, but you knew I found out about all this situation while you was doing what you was doing. So, and I'm trying to be careful of what I said or trying to be respectful to not make it seem like I'm arguing or trying to get back at you. But I'm saying if you're going to say something, it's two sides of the story. Let's be fully honest and be transparent. Don't just say one part of what happened
and then
you're not putting down the other shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on public radio and say these stuff, and then behind closed doors you call back to apologize. I'm trying to figure out what is the end game here. What are you trying to achieve?
Who would have called back and apologized?
You did this before.
What apologize?
The last time you did this, it was on social media.
No, I wasn't.
You and your family made it known that my wife now, you criticize her, but wait, you criticize her, but you and your family did all of this, right?
Okay.
I didn't say anything to you. I allow you all to do what you was doing.
Okay.
That didn't work.
No,
Now,
see, because
no,
I
no,
think
allow me to
Okay.
speak. Just allow. I'm not
Um,
attacking you. I know you have the full show to yourself. This is the only time I'm ever calling a show, and I probably may not even call a talk show. But it's interesting to hear what you had to say last week. What I'm saying is,
now,
there's two sides of the story.
okay,
You
yeah.
and
doing
I
your
would
part. You trying to
definitely agree
control the
with you when you
narrative.
said it is definitely a two-sided
Hold
of
on, hold on, hold
story.
on, hold on, Rich. Let me allow me to speak. Right. All I'm saying is, right. You did what you had to do. You missed out that part. You didn't. You never played or said anything that you did wrong in this marriage. Right. You did
Hmm.
what you had to do. It's not my fault. Yeah. Me and my wife now got married. It's been our daughter when we got divorced. She was about 2 or 3. Our daughter's 18. I'm trying to figure out after 16 years, you still running on with this nonsense?
No, it's not that running on with nonsense. I'm bringing awareness because there were a lot of issues that were going on in terms of manipulation. That's one. In terms of control, that's two. In terms of identity being lost, that's three, which you are fully aware of, right? And at the end of the day, we all are humans. We all have our own freedom of choice and to make our choices while being responsible as well, right? And so while we were young, we know there were a lot of things that would have impeded us from doing what we should have done as growing couples. But there were things that, especially from the pastor's standpoint, who definitely would have contributed to a lot of the things that happened. And you are fully aware of exactly what transpired in the church because you are fully
Okay,
involved in the church, right? And
granted,
so,
granted. Oh, that's
1 second, right? And so here it is now. What led to it is that one, we both were deceived. We both were misled. And that's a fact. And at the end of the day, for church members who were in the church, who saw what was happening, and when they stood up to what was wrong, we were the ones who were penalized. We were the ones who were preached on the pulpit on
okay.
a
I get all of that.
Sunday.
I get all of that because you still running on because when you
No,
see
it's not
the
running
whole
on, it is
divorce, the
speaking
whole
the
Okay,
divorce.
truth.
guys, wait, hold on 1 second. Hubby, ex-hubby.
Hmm.
Okay, and Michelle, I don't know ex-hubby's name. I don't want to know at this point. Okay, and in fairness to him, he does have, his side of the story, and that's why actually I'm sitting here very quietly. Now I don't want it to turn into a versus type of thing, because at the end of the day, too, you both have a daughter, and the daughter, even though she may be an adult, but you both do have a daughter. Now, I would like to hear your side of the story, sir, because I'm sure that you also have your side of the story. And now I know she did not mention your name, but I mean, people who know your voice definitely know now. But I get how you feel too, and I'm very empathetic and respectful to that. Is it also okay if, as a matter of fact, let me go to a quick commercial break. Stay on the line, sir. Okay. Brittany, take me to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th at Hard Rock Stadium. See Janae Aiko, Ludacris, and his 25th anniversary set, Nelly, with Ashanti, Glorilla,
What you know about me, bitch?
JITG Music Fest with LMA, Maya, Party with D Nice and Friends featuring SWV, Donnell Jones, Chase, Sunshine Anderson, and Kenny Burns, the Isley Brothers, El DeBarge, Stephanie Mills, King George, Pastor Mike Jr., Tonio Armani, Tony James, Damian Escobar, and more. JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th, Hard Rock Stadium. Info at jazzinthegardens.com. Presented by the City of Miami Gardens and the Black Promoters Collective.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow?
No, babe, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means he got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody. I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and these boys coming for me next.
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I work?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
The following is a paid political message.
Kalane, whoa, hey, Kalane, oh, the future is brighter, oh, vote for my diver, hey, 'cause she is a fighter. Kalane, hey, the future is brighter, oh, if you need improvement, oh, come join the movement, come join the movement. Hey, you're looking for change, find it here. You're looking for justice, find it here. You're looking for truth, find it here. Vote for MacGyver, she's here for you. See everybody in Kalane, change is here. Hey, hands in the air. See everybody in Kalane, vote for MacGyver. She is a fighter.
That was a paid political message.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Okay, and we are back. Listen, boy, I see you wasn't aware of Tell It to Stanya before I came, met you.
Mm-hmm.
But, I had a similar situation where my sister came in and it went on. Jesus, this could be I feeling like I somewhere between Dr. Phil, Maury, Jerry Springer, and a Yanla Fix My Life.
Uh-huh.
That's how I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, guys, all fun and jokes aside now, I take this very, very serious. And I take this serious because I'm the product of divorced parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the product of divorced parents, and it was always a fight for me. You feel like, okay, this one was the bad one, that one was the bad one, and children get torn in between.
Mm-hmm.
And without talking all my business, all right, because I had to be respectful to my daddy. He's telling me I gotta keep it down sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But just as a little person, so for me, that's why the first thing that came to mind for me was the child, and I know that I would have battled. I'm making this about me, y'all, but I just sharing. I would have battled having issues with my father, and for similar things, infidelity and all this stuff. And boy, listen, my story dead. So I'm like, why my daddy's still there? he's still over there. And as an adult, I had to accept that, and also I had to accept that sometimes the person that you're married to is not your soulmate. But I know that there's always a war, and the children normally become casualties of war. And so for me, I did not want, now Stanya Trapsy, I am Trapsy, guys. It's a little piece of Trapsiness. But what I am too is that I'm respectful of people and their privacy. And Rochelle will tell you, I did ask her if she was okay with him speaking. That's the first thing. And then, of course, I would have spoken to the ex-husband, and just to make sure if he wanted to have a voice, and he said that he did not want to have a voice too because he didn't want to be offensive, and he didn't want to potentially hurt or harm the relationship that he's trying to grow with his daughter. So, and that was very good. Like I said, I totally get it. I'm the product of divorced parents, and I am 50 years old. I'm 50 right now.
You look good for 50.
Thanks, gal. Bam. This is a little boogie and hello. Yes, and I'll tell you all this. Literally, in the Christmas, I said to my dad, I say, Daddy, I don't have no more issues with you. I realized that you're a really good person, Daddy. And my dad was like, you did take it this long standing to figure this out. And I was like, yeah. So it's a pleasure now. My dad makes me laugh. He's amazing. And sometimes I feel like I was robbed. Not anything intentionally that my mom did, but you just get caught up. And I just don't want your daughter to get caught up. So that's why, I said, let me take the little break, guys. Y'all like drama, but this is people real life.
Right, but then at the same time too, I also, prior to coming on to the show, I would have spoken to my family. Yes. I would have also spoken to my daughter as well. And I let her know that, hey, I got a message from my TikTok, and I explained to her exactly what it was. And so at first she was a little apprehensive, and then she would have said, okay, mommy, it's fine. And so I would have let her know that, hey, I'm going on the show. I'm going to talk about what transpired. And she's like, it's okay, right? And she would have had conversations with family members as well, and who would have said, hey, everybody went through a journey in life.
Right.
And although it would have been, like I said, that would have been my journey 16 years ago. And she's like, a lot of persons do hurt.
Right.
A lot of persons are in a relationship whereas, it is not what it is. But at the same time, bringing awareness to certain issues, it heightens persons' level of understanding. Yes, it heightens person's level of understanding and what to look out for and what not to do and what to do. And so she was fine. And even this morning prior to me leaving, I'm like, hey, I'm going on the show. She's like, okay, mommy, that's fine. Just do your thing. She's now 18, right? And so it was not an easy journey for her.
Right.
It definitely was a roller coaster ride because she was definitely affected by it. Not just her. Everybody around was affected.
How old was she?
She was 2, going on 3.
Okay, see, now my mom and dad split when I was 1. So it's very similar. And even though no memory of living with my father, but it impacted me in a big way.
And I find myself being surrounded with a lot of persons too, Stanya, who go through similar situations. Yeah. And so you try to bring light to say, hey, there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? So I know we said last week there are many things in between that led to it, right? So now bear in mind now the divorce and everything was already submitted and all that stuff, going through the proceeding of the courts and all that stuff, right? So at this time now, what I do have now, we would have had our decree nihil, right? Which means that the only thing that was missing from us would have been our absolute. So now between all of that, we were already, going through court. Well, he didn't go through the court in terms of the decree, nice side, but he went when we was doing the absolute in terms of the assets that we would have had together, no problem. And so between that, one day I came home. I was working out west. I came home. I called up one of my friends who's a beautician. I said, hey, I need a hairstyle. I need my hair to get cut. Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay, no problem. She said, Ray, are you serious? Because you have so much of a long hair. Mm-hmm. Now, my hairstyle is now cut now after I would have gotten that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I got my hair cut. I came home. And so in coming home, my ex, he was in the kitchen cooking. And so when he was in the kitchen cooking, he noticed that my hair is actually cut. And that was a sign for my freedom, right? And it was not a fashion statement for me at the time.
Okay,
but
so
it was like...
So you cut your hair during this time?
Yes.
Okay.
So I ended up cutting my hair around the time when I came home, and he was in the kitchen. He was cooking all stuff, and he didn't say much, to be honest. So when he looked at me, he was shocked. Like, why are you cutting your hair? It's like, oh my goodness, this girl really cut her hair. My parents and everybody was shocked too. So that was the start of the beginning of my freedom. I'm me now, reclaiming me and being me, right? And not living in anybody's shadow. And so he would have alluded to a fact to say that, oh, there was infidelity. There was no infidelity in our relationship. And he knows that. And that's not on the docket. And so let me explain why he would come to that conclusion. I'm going to explain. Mm-hmm. So let me explain why he would have said that. Because now, at this time now, my first step was my haircut. So now, I wasn't one who was hanging out or all I was is church home, school or whatever. And so now I got my sense of freedom, got my hair cut. Right. And my best friend and I, we went to go and get something to eat. Friend? No, When I say friend, my another friend of mine's, right? We went to go and get a random Saturday, went to get something to eat in Southwest Plaza. I think it was Bamboo at the time. And next to Bamboo, there would have been a tattoo parlor there. And so she's like, I want to get a tattoo. I was like, boy, I don't know if I want to get a tattoo, right? Because I said I'm afraid of needles, and she's afraid of needles too. And that would have been my first. The tattoo is still on my leg, but it's really unfinished. Okay. It's just shaded, right? So I got my hair cut, and that Saturday, I ended up getting a tattoo on my leg. It would have been a thorn of roses, right? And it represents being a rose and going through so much traumas and issues in the relationship. So that would have been the symbolic of what I would have had the tattoo for. And so obviously now I've started to now.
So you're becoming more and more.
I'm becoming more and more. Mm-hmm. And so now working with my fellow colleagues at the time, on weekends we would have like hangouts or whatever, or we would have like trips assigned because things like that, and we'll say, okay, we're gonna hang out this weekend or whatever. So hanging out with friends, this is a new set of persons that I'm hanging out with. Very responsible people I was hanging out with too. It wasn't nobody who was influencing us to do anything wrong, but it was just good, clean, responsible fun. So he would have seen that there would have been a different change. One, this lady has a haircut. 2, there's a tattoo on her leg. 3, now she's hanging out with persons.
You're from streets at this point.
Yeah,
okay.
You understand? And so hanging out with colleagues and all that stuff. So in his opinion, so he's saying that, oh, you're hanging out with this person, you're hanging with this person, these got to be your sweetheart, these got to be the persons you're with and all that stuff. No, that wasn't. They were persons there were friends that I started to now hang out with. We were hanging out with males, we were hanging out with females, and at the same time now you got upset because now this is a different caliber of people I'm hanging out with and not the church people.
Okay, all right. So what is he talking about with the guy in Camp Road?
They were my co-workers. See, because how it was working out west, sometimes when persons don't have a ride or whatever, we would carpool. And so for him, he automatically assumed that because co-workers, if I didn't have my car was not working or whatever, we would say, we had a group or whatever, we would say, hey, I need a ride or whatever. We'll, arrange of picking up persons here and there. Hey, if you need a ride, I'm available for work.
So what gave him the impression that it
because
was
we all started,
he's
very adamant about it because we all hang out. So if I needed ride and I needed things to do, I wouldn't say things to do, ride for work, right? Or if we would say we're hanging out and I would need a ride to get to point A or point B.
Was picking you up or whatever.
Right,
okay.
You understand? And then I love to cook. And so because I would cook, it wasn't just me. We'd do potlucks as well. So if I would cook and I would say, hey, pass for the food to the house or whatever, in his mind, he would automatically think that, oh, these are the persons you're hanging with. Maybe not this person is your person that you're in a relationship with. And that was not the fact. And he knows very well, right, that was not the fact. And the court dockets are there as well. Because when both of our lawyers asked the question, if there was infidelity involved, he stated no. And I stated no. And he became nasty with it, right? So he took that and he ran with it, right? And so when he talked about the apology, yes, we went, I told you, we went on social media,
Rochelle,
right?
listen, right now, this the quietest this text line been from I've been doing Tell It to Stanya. I mean, they even stopped texting. Y'all, boy, listen, they invested right now, okay?
Yeah.
And guys, if you want to send me a message, once again, 422-4796.
Right.
Boy, I mean, I wasn't even taking phone calls. I don't even know how I
And it
get
was
to
fine.
you.
It was fine.
Anyway.
I don't have an issue with it.
422-4796 if you want to share a comment or ask a question. 422-4796. I did have, where was this? What these messages are now? What I had here? Oh, well, somebody asked, I wonder if that's, let me see if that was ex-husband. Hold on. Let me see if this, I know that is somebody. Okay, well, anyway, somebody is asking if you really think this is something you should be talking about on the radio. Well, first of all, you tuning in. Whoever that is who messaged, you tuning in. So, I mean, hello, that's one. Two, like I said, this is not a Trapsiness show. This is a real life show. And in real life, this is what it is. It's one side, it's another side, and then what we like to say, then it's the truth. And I don't want this to be no Trapsiness show. I want this to be a resolution show. I know after I come off the air, I'm going to speak with ex-hubby as well. And, you know, if all of us need to sit down and off air and resolve it or talk about it, I know I'm open to it. Because these people real life. And quite frankly, a lot of us have experienced this. We have a very high divorce rate. We have a very, very high divorce rate, guys. And sometimes, okay, even though we know her name, but I mean, I didn't know who her husband is or his name or anything. I didn't even know, to tell you all the truth, I didn't even know we was going to be here for 3 episodes, 3 shows. I didn't even know we was going to be talking about hubby. I keep telling y'all, I don't know where. I just get basic information, and I get basic information, guys, because I like to be authentically Stanya. So when you see I acting the fool, like, oh no, wow, I don't be faking. That's the first time I've heard it, honestly. So I get like a little brief roadmap to, but I don't know all the details. Originally, this was supposed, we were talking about the whole cult thing and being a part of it, and it morphed into it because it's a part of the story and where she's been. So this was not, let me say this too, she did not come on the show to talk about the marriage. It went in that direction, but that was not what we were talking about, was it not? So this was in, and I contacted her. She didn't contact me. I contacted her. So let me also say that this wasn't something where she sought me out and was like, oh, but I want to tell this story on the air. No, it wasn't. We honestly were talking about religious cult
and
abuse. So let me make that clear too. All right. Okay, go on.
Right. And so because now he saw that there was a different caliber of people that I'm hanging out with, you didn't have grounds to stand on when it came down to the divorce to say or prove that there was infidelity. So now, don't forget now, this was never on the record stating, because we both was asked from both lawyers, was there. And I said it, and I stated no, because at the time it wasn't, because it was not revealed, right?
I do have a question though, Ray. But okay, there are some people who would say that don't look good. So do you see where that could look bad?
What's that?
Okay, even though you guys are not living as husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
that okay, a male dropping you home or coming to pick up food
Mm-hmm.
is inappropriate.
See, that's the thing, Stanya, the way, and anybody who knew me in the working environment that I was working in, we were basically like a little family. So persons will come. It wouldn't just been one person, we would send different persons
But
to.
how come he zoomed in like on this one person?
Yeah, because it wasn't just one, that's the thing, right? It was like quite a few persons who would pass by and say, okay, right, we coming over, we picking up the food or whatever. If like I said, at the time my car was not working, it was down. And so I was relying on his transportation, right?
Okay.
And so it wasn't like he was like always available. And so obviously I would have been relying on co-workers to pick me up. And if somebody who's around the area and they are on the same shift as I am, they would be the more one to say, okay, I can get you and I can pick you up. Right?
Okay.
And so anyhow, leading on to it. And so
Okay.
he got offended, right? Obviously he got offended by it and he made a big deal about it. And I'm like, no, I say, we're not in a relationship. Okay. And I said, at the end of the day, I'm not in a relationship with anybody. As far as I was concerned, you're not in a relationship with anybody. It wasn't until things were revealed that you were actually in a relationship, right?
So so now let's fast forward a little bit. So now you find out that he's with your friend.
Yes.
Okay. Was there any sign that
No.
they had some type of relationship, that they were talking, that they were friendly?
Absolutely no signs.
Nothing.
No.
Okay. All right. So now, years go by, and now you're saying that you're gonna have this meetup.
So my daughter, right? So when I came from work one day and I saw the dockets just spread around on the bed, and I saw her whole demeanor, and that's when I hugged her. And I already see what was on the bed in the event, so I know she had already read it.
So because she didn't know
She didn't know the details.
all the details.
Now,
Okay.
obviously, like you said, you came from a product of divorce. There was tension because, as far as
Yeah.
she's concerned now, her family are not together. Why is it that mommy and daddy are not together? Why is it that I got to go by daddy on certain weekends? I got to go by mommy on certain weekends. So they're going to be curious. They're going to ask the various questions, right? In which I do understand, right? And I'm not knocking it. So, like, for now, I can say that there is a beautiful relationship
Yes, you said
that exists. And I've said that before, right? And I'm not going to knock it because it is true.
Yes, you
There's a
said he's a
beautiful
good father.
relationship between both me and her, and both her and her father.
Wait, can people hear me on? Because I'm getting messages that people can't hear me. If I get this if this mic be any closer to me, this mic could be in my mouth. Guys, can you all hear me? Audience, can you all text me and let me know if you all hear me, or if I'm very low or something? Or Brittany, do I need to turn it up a little bit? Maybe I need to turn it up? Oh, I doing Brittany. Wait, let me turn this back down. Next thing I know, I broke up everything.
Right.
Let me, Stanya, $2 guys spend on food.
Right.
Okay.
So when I did see her with the like I said, there was a lot of tension back and forth going on for those period of time. And when she did see, she said, "Mommy, I demand a meeting." And I'm like, "Who do you want to meet with?" Right. And so I said, "Okay, no problem." We did meet, me, him, her sister, and the wife and all that stuff.
But
and
you
like
say
I
sister?
said,
Who's this? Everybody.
yeah.
Okay.
Right. And so when we did met, we came together, and she asked certain questions, because as far as she's concerned, you're my godmother.
All right.
And on top of that, you are my mom's best friend.
Okay.
Right? And so he would have obviously defended her and say that, oh, no, they were not best friends. They were just mere church members. No, we were not just mere church members. We were a number 10. Where you see me, you see her. When you see her, you see me. And even persons who were aware when he would have stated that or made the Brittany, you good? Good. And so he would have made the statement to say that, oh, we were just mere church members. And persons who would have heard and understood what the comment was made, it's like, no, that's absurd, because everybody know those two are genuinely best friends. So she asked the questions as to why, because she would have read the dockets and all of the information.
Right.
And so at this point, I'm like, you know what? I said at the end of the day, I was not aware that there was a relationship going on. I was not aware of it. And as far as I am concerned, we were good friends up until your birthday when we were planning it and all that stuff, because I was in heavy communication with her. We were planning it. And so at this point, it's like when it was revealed to me, when they were placed on church discipline, that they were together, I said that was news to me. When they said that X, Y, and Z are together, I'm like, that's impossible. What you talking about? I said, because as far as I'm concerned, she is single.
Right.
But not knowing that there was something going on. Now, when did it happen? How did it happen? I can't say, right?
Okay.
But all we do know that it was revealed that, hey, they were both in a relationship. And so when she started to ask questions and all that stuff, mind you now, she really didn't have much to say.
But so
when we were in the meetup, she really didn't have much to say, because, you know, my ex, he defended her to the core and made it seem as if, no, we were fully divorced, which was not the truth, right? I mean, okay, I would say the divorce was basically near end of finalization, right? Because we would have had assets and all that stuff. And to find out that, hey, yes.
Come on now, guys. Okay. Now, even though, you know, early in the show, and I said that sometimes you have to admit that the person that you're married to really is not the person you're supposed to be with, right? We
Absolutely.
all, you know, I know 10,000 stories, 10,000 people, not 10,000, but I know quite a number of people who end up still being with, okay, maybe they cheated on their wife or cheated on their husband, and then they ended up getting married to this other person, right? There has even been, and boy, and some of my clients know this, there have been times when I would have had clients, and honestly, one comes to mind in particular where the person he was seeing was a much better match for him than the wife, right? It happens. However, now, right, we all mature, but come on now, guys, it's still going to be a hurtful thing if it's somebody who you know and this was your
Close
friend.
to you.
So come on now, yeah, let's don't play that game
So
too.
I want to piggyback, because he would have mentioned talking about an apology. So let me bring clarity to where he's mentioned the apology. Now, like I said, yes, we went on social media at the time. You know, you were hurt when you're discovering the information. So things were said on social media. And so at the same time, you know, he took, because where he saw me was associated to my colleagues and all that stuff, he went above. And what he did, you know, Nassau Cheetahs back in the day? Right. So he went to Nassau Cheetahs and gave information of me, which was false information about me, stating that I am with X, Y, and Z, gave my disc information. He's a part of law enforcement, right? So gave my disc information and this and an X or whatever. I went straight to their commanding in chief to report him for what he did, because here it is now, you now doing false accusations about me, which isn't true. You're saying that, oh, I'm in a relationship with this and I'm in a relationship with that. Furthermore, at this point, we were no longer, we were already legally separated at this point, right? But now for you to go to the extent of now saying that, oh, you have me followed, you have me this, and you have me that, to prove when there was nothing there to prove. So when I went and reported him to his commander in chief, there was like, no, this can't be right. He was the one who would have made an apology of it, right? And so because of me and my family, or my sisters, we were hurt. Yeah, we made one or two statements on social media. So I said, you know what? I took it the high road, and I said, you know what? Let me apologize. I'm not going back on social media and discuss that matter. But in terms of that, he was pulled in officially reference to what transpired, right? To his commanders and chiefs and all that stuff, reference to what, because I reported him, and because I reported him, what he did, he ended up calling my boss. So he was playing like a tit for tat. I wasn't playing a tit for tat, because now you're trying to smear my name. And I don't appreciate the fact that you had somebody following me where you did not have any proof to say, hey, when you followed me, this is what it was. And you know that was not the truth. And so when I did report him, he was pulled in officially. What was said to him, I don't know, but he had to issue a letter of an apology as well. Right? Because I said, I'm going to sue you for defamation of character, because whatever was posted on social media, it was the truth. But you know what? I'm going to apologize for putting it out. That's why I do apologize for that. But what you did was wrong because now you're falsely accusing me because you in a relationship, not me.
Okay. So that's what he. Well, me. Your version is that you were. You did go to social media. You did say things.
Yeah.
Did you take it down?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I did.
So it might still be up.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember. I know I did say that I do apologize and I was not going to go back and forth with the information that was on social media.
Okay. So have you ever seen his now wife after that?
After that, no. After we would have had that sit down, no. I haven't. And I don't know if she's seen me, but for me, no.
Okay. All right. Yeah, guys. Like I said, we know that, life happens. Life happens. And I'm trying, and it is a hurtful thing.
And let me tell you where I became nasty, Stanya. Like I said, there was so many things that happened in between. He did not physically hit me, right? But mental abuse is a serious thing too. And a part of when I was talking, just a little snippet, I think that's probably what got your attention when I said awareness is a serious thing.
Yes.
And reading the room.
Yes.
Right?
What was that about?
And so, going through all of that, when the divorce and everything was granted, I went to my parents' house and I was explaining to them and saying that, hey, this is what happened and this is what transpired when I got home. Some days, one day I came home, my lock was off my door.
Okay, let me read this thing here. Okay, good day, Stanya. She's deflecting from the question about how it looked with the Camp Road guy giving you a ride. Maybe understandable, but cooking food for him and hanging.
No, I wasn't cooking food for him. We were cooking food for the staff. We was having potluck.
Okay.
It was not cooking individually for a person.
Okay, and hanging with him is weird and suspicious to any man. But may God comfort her and give her peace. The ex-husband already moved on. She done move on too.
Yeah. So I want to bring clarity to that. When we talking about the food, it wasn't me cooking individually for a person. It was like at times when we would have like potluck to work. And I would say, okay, I would cook this, I would cook that or whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't have transportation. I'm going to need somebody to come and pick up the food. So it wasn't like I was cooking individually for anybody.
Okay, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, because people want to know what's going on in your life now. They're asking me if you're involved with the Camp Road guy.
Oh, no, that was not a relationship.
So we're going to take a commercial break. And then, guys, we'll be back and we'll find out, okay, is she dating? Is she married? You're still in church? You still cooking food for the pastor on Sunday? What else happening? Anyway, we'll be right back. Just tell it to Stanya, child is hot and heavy. We'll be back.
City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th at Hard Rock Stadium. See Janae Aiko, Ludacris, and his 25th anniversary set, Nelly, The Shanty, Glorilla,
What you know about me, bitch?
JITG Music Fest with LMA, Maya, Party with D Nice and Friends featuring SWV, Donnell Jones, Chase, Sunshine Anderson, and Kenny Burns, the Isley Brothers, El DeBarge, Stephanie Mills, King George, Pastor Mike Jr., Tonio Armani, Bonnie James, Damian Escobar, and more. JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th, Hard Rock Stadium. Info at JazzInTheGardens.com. Presented by the City of Miami Gardens and the Black Promoters Collective.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Tell It to Stanya, the country's most authentic talk show. That's right. The most authentic. Where all kind of things happening.
Absolutely.
Things what I just don't even be ready for to be happening. Anyhow, okay. This story have so many moving pieces.
Yeah, it does because, like I said, my mental state was affected, and awareness is a serious thing because one of my bosses, when I was working, she's like, I started to call out, and I don't call out from work. I don't call in sick if I am not sick, and that's not something that I practice. I'm very punctual when it comes to work, right? And so she started to notice there was a decline. She's like, hold on, you don't. So one day when she came to work, for the past 2-3 weeks, she noticed that, hey, this isn't you. We are accustomed to you coming to work on time, performing at your optimal level, and you are not performing. So she pulled me in the office. And when she pulled me, this happened in June, she pulled me inside of the office. She's like, hey, talk to me. What's going on? She's like, I don't know what's happening, but I've been noticing you for the past 3 weeks. She's like, you're not coming to work on time as you normally would because you're very punctual. You're making the silliest mistakes on the job and mistakes that I know that you shouldn't be making because you are a senior agent doing this. So I need to understand why. When she asked me the question, Stanya, that's when I broke down and I started to cry. And she's like, what's going on? I said, let me tell you, I said, I'm going through a lot because obviously this divorce is very nasty. I said, some days, one day I came home, my lock on my door was changed. One day I came home, whereas the hinge off my door was taken down, right? And so
What?
it was taken down. The hinge was taken down, but it was not off, you know, like it was taken. I came from work late. I pick up the girls from home, from my Grammy and all that, from Grammy, and I came home and I met, you know, we had the first incident when the lock was changed because through the whole process of the wedding, divorce, sorry, I jumped the gun. We were awarded this of the house. I was awarded for the house or whatever, but at the end of the day, we had to like end up selling it. However you decide to do it, but whatever. The water system was damaged. He broke the system. He damaged the water system. He damaged the electrical system, right? Whereas it made me uncomfortable living in the home. And so I would have called my parents and all that stuff, letting them know exactly what is happening in the home. So all of that started to play because it's like at this point now you're being petty because now children are now living in the house. You're not thinking about nobody's safety as far as you are concerned. You're upset or whatever. But kids are in the house living with me as well. So what I would have to do, I had to take the mattress out of until I got it repaired. That following morning, I didn't go to work that next morning because I had to take the mattress or the chair and push it in the front of the door so it could have been secure because I came from work late that night. And when I...
So, okay. Okay, so it was all these little things, and you're right, I'm sure he has his version of what happened as well. Okay, so all of this happened. You didn't really get the answers that you wanted during the family meeting because he was very protective. So I'm assuming that he would have been the person who spoke the most and not so much. So at any time did she share anything?
No.
Okay, so she just let him handle everything. Okay, so did you, like, what happened afterwards? So are you dating? I mean, you get remarried?
No.
How you feel about relationships now?
It did affect me for quite a long time.
Okay.
Right? And so, like, for 5 years, you know, it was for me just like when you say you regurgitating everything what happened and then you're like, you know, I have to find myself all over again. I have to now find my voice,
right?
Protect myself because also my baby, she's also young at this point, my daughter, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not entertaining. I was not entertaining at the time, you know. So for 5 years, I was basically to myself. I was not engaged in any form of relationship. I was just doing me, traveling, enjoying, and you know, when I the work I did, it afforded me the opportunity of traveling. And so whenever I had an opportunity of traveling, I would pack my bags, me and the girls or whatever, we would travel.
So, okay, what happened with the pastor?
He is still
He's still
there.
pastoring?
Mm-hmm. He is still there.
Okay, and I know you would have, right, we're not calling the church name, we're not calling the pastor's name.
Mm-hmm.
Stan, you only got money for food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So was there anything that came out about the pastor eventually?
There's a lot of scandal that
Allegedly.
came. Allegedly.
Uh-huh.
Allegedly. There was a lot of scandal that was associated to him.
Okay.
And the scandal that was allegedly attached to him would have been sexual.
Okay.
Whereas took advantage of ladies, took advantage of young persons as well in the church, and persons who would have been in certain communities as well. So
Okay.
a lot of these things.
So there were a lot of allegations.
Yes, and so at one point, based on my understanding, he would have stepped down for a period of time when the allegations were circulating. But I believe he would have since assumed his role back on the pulpit. But a lot of persons who were there stood up and let him know that, hey, what you were doing was wrong.
Okay.
And persons, the old stalwart persons, the old pillars of the church, they are no longer there. So persons
they
who
left
were,
as well.
so you would have seen, you still have one or two, a few pillars, persons who was there who, built the church to where it was. They are still there. Some of them are still there, but for the majority of the part, I would say 98% of those persons are no longer at the church.
Okay, and ex-hubby isn't there either there?
No.
Okay, to your knowledge, he
He's
has
not.
left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and pastor and the wife still together?
Yes.
Kumbaya, my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Still together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you now. This is the big question now. Hold on. My number one text ain't even been quiet child for years, and he's so like trapped in this with woman. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
What is this now? What is this? Child, you miss plenty. Did someone say, hi, Stanya, is this episode 3? I was sleeping and I just got up at 2. What did I miss and where can I catch the show? Child, you miss plenty, child. Child, the ex-husband and calling, child. You miss all kind of things. Okay? You miss everything, child. Okay. So, let's go back before we get back to the relationship part. How do you feel about church, God, Christianity? Like, where are you in terms of your faith and just, because, sometimes when we experience stuff like that, we also, we go far left.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get away from the church, or we want to, or we say, go God, blah, 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 or whatever it is. Sometimes that happens. So how, where is your faith now?
I never went far left.
Okay.
Right? But it was never the same. Okay. Right? Because for one, I was accustomed to being heavily involved in church. Right? And so I found myself a new church. But at the same time, because like I said, you were always told that your emotions are only reserved if you hurt yourself. And you say, ouch, I am in pain. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, going into the church that I attend, sometimes, you catch yourself, like you see persons around you clapping and, they're shouting and, praising and all that stuff. So that wasn't something. Then you have drums, you have saxophone, you have cowbell or whatever inside of the church or whatever. So I'm looking at it. When I first started to go to the church that I attend, you look at it as foreign because all your life you've been told that these things are a sin, you shouldn't do it or whatever. So I find myself, even now to this day, sometimes too, I find it hard to clap, but I would clap. But it makes me like, Lord, I don't want to know if I'm going against the green or,
So what denomination are you a part of
Baptist.
now? Okay, Baptist. Okay, all right. Okay, so it didn't turn you away from God.
No, it didn't turn me away, but I was discouraged, you know, and it's like, the way I was trusting and like how I would have been so open and talk about what I went through. I found it hard for me to express it because at the end of the day, I don't want you to take it and use it and to say, oh, abuse it. But the pastor that the church that I attend, he is not, based on what I've noticed and what the community is saying, he's not one to, based on his preaching too. He's never been the one to bash you or the church members or whatever. He's always been, to encourage you. But at the end of the day, if you are doing something wrong, you'll be held accountable as well. Be responsible in what you do. But to say that I strayed away, no.
Okay.
Was I act like how I used to be active back in the day heavily? No, I am not. But do I go? I do.
Okay.
But it's not consistent of how I would want it to be, but I've never strayed away to say go far left.
Okay, I got some tough questions now. You ready for the tough questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this working with my my colleague who helps me out with Eve's journey and coaching and all this stuff. So I asked her, okay, what's different from my style to someone else? And she's like, Stanya, because you ask the hard questions and blah blah. So I'm gonna ask you. I hit the hard questions. You ready for the hard questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, question number 1. Do you have you forgiven your ex-husband for what I like to say, what you believe he has done to you?
I did.
Okay.
I did. We've came a long way.
Question number 2. Okay, go on.
We've came a long way because it was not always easy. And this came like a side, how I could say it. They would say like, this a laugh because he did. I'm certain that he didn't expect me to come on radio because we do have a good co-parenting relationship. And compared to how it was back in the day, we basically, the communication was not the best. And so we've came an extremely long way. And part of us coming a long way too is because of the child that we have together. She holds both of us accountable.
Okay. Question number 2. And that's very good. And, I'm going to applaud XRB for, sticking in there too. Listen, we talk about the quote unquote deadbeat dads, because we got plenty of deadbeat mummies too, but we talk about that. And, a lot of times I hear men say, oh, the woman that keeping me away and the mother this and the mother. Let me tell you, and y'all, this, because people was on this show before and we have the answer. Let me tell you, how I know it's not the mother and it's the man? In certain cases, because these women out here, y'all wilding out, doing, y'all need to move on, and I know y'all need to get it together. Because the fathers never let their children go. My dad never let me go. And trust me, boy, I used to spank him up nice and good.
But Stanya, let me stick a pin in there when you're talking about, because going through divorce is never easy for the child.
No.
Right? And it was not easy for her, right? That's one. Because let me tell you, when they did officially got married, I was in my feelings. And I mean, not feelings for him, but the fact that I felt like I don't want my child to your house, right? And so I said, she's not going there. He would have had visiting rights and all that stuff. I mean, where she would have gone on X amount of weekends or whatever. And so we were going fine and all that stuff. I'm like, no, well, that's fine. Me being in my feelings.
Okay, so you admitted that was not right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was in my feelings, right? And I was like, no, because I was hurt because at the end of the day, this was my best friend. Me and her were cool. We were good. And so I'm like, no, she's not going to your house, right? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. So if you want to take it to court, then take it to court, right? So we did go to court again. Right, and so it wasn't until when we go on the court and they called her, our baby, she went into chambers and she spoke with the judge at the time, right? And so the judge heard her out and all that stuff. She was young, so for her a lot of things was not really sinking or linking for her better understanding, right? But at the same time, I was in my feelings at the time. I'm like, no, I just didn't like the whole environment of how it was, and so eventually we moved past it. And so, yeah, we moved past it.
Let me say this too. I'm speaking to the women, okay, guys? Women and men. You've heard her. She said that she was wrong to do that. And so, women, I'm talking to y'all right now. I'm talking to you because, right, we could be in our feelings. And the way you feel, and if the husband, baby daddy, whatever, boyfriend, whoever, maybe he wasn't a good husband to you. Maybe you're still hurting. Maybe he deceived you, or you feel like he deceived you, or what have you. But at the end of the day, that has absolutely nothing to do with the relationship he should have with his child. And as parents, we have, and vice versa, guys too. But I talking to the women now, vice versa. But we have to always remember that has absolutely nothing to do whether or not he was with your sister, with your mother, with whoever it is, it has if he's a good father and he wants to be a part of your child's life, allow that. Don't get in the middle. Because I can tell you, you know what I realized with my mommy and my daddy? My dad ain't no good. My dad was like, honestly, and it took me, I had to become an adult to understand that, first of all, they got married in their 20s. They were young. They were young. And as it pertains to my father, I had to also learn, like, it felt like he would have chosen this other life over his children. What I know now is he never did. First of all, he never let me go. And second of all, I feel like talking, but no, because his daddies be mad at me. But let's just say I had a good time with my good, decent mommy. Sometimes your parents make some decisions and you may think that it is a bad thing. But what if everything that happened was actually a gift?
Yeah.
What if it was always a gift? Because, okay, you guys had broken up. I know for me, if my mommy didn't leave my dad, she wouldn't have the one, and y'all know I love my pa. My dad is a good daddy. But my mom had a wonderful relationship with, I could call Dennis. My stepdad, Dennis out of Marshall. Hey, Pappy! She had a good relationship. So she didn't leave him. If the relationship didn't mash up, she would have never find him. And also, if my mom and dad didn't break up, he wouldn't have the wonderful relationship that he has with his mate. And he has a good relationship with his mate. They've been together as long as I've been alive.
And then also, too, Stanya, I look at it this way, too, because things happen for a reason. Because what I accomplished, I may not have been able to accomplish in the marriage. And what he has accomplished, he may not have been able to accomplish it. Well, yeah, exactly. You know, so and then so you as you get older, you see things, then as she got older, she would have had to make the decision too, whether or not she want to go to his house or not.
Okay, I have a big question now. This is the biggest one. You ready for the big question?
Go ahead.
Okay, because see, right, you talk about self-awareness. Just a big question. Ready?
Go ahead.
What do you believe? What did you contribute to the demise of this relationship? Or what role, let me say that, what role did you play? What should you have not done? What you did not learn? What do you take responsibility for? And guess what? And sometimes when we take responsibility, it's because we think that it was the best thing to do at the time. It just may not have been the best thing to do at the time. But what? This is the big question. Ray.
I hear.
You need 30 seconds to think about that?
No.
Okay, what?
See, because
what you could own?
One, we were young, like I said.
Yes.
Right? And I would say it's a positive and then it's a negative in standing up, right? And in standing up for being vocal for what I thought and knew what was right, when it comes down to trying to play that mind control, right? And in some cases when they would have had certain discussions, should I have not say, hey, I could have hold that back and say no, but I decided to say, let me speak about it. And in some cases, I could have not say something, right? But at the same time, I also look at it too, like I'm being affected if I don't say something.
And Rochelle, sometimes we gotta admit that one other woman is a more appropriate woman for the boy said. Sometimes, because sometimes I'm out too hard.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
When we say I'm out hard, and I agree, right? But at the same time, it's like you between a rock and a hard place,
right?
Because you're standing up for yourself because you know what you're standing up is like it's right, but at the same time, was it the right time to stand up? You get me?
That is true, but I have crazy beliefs too. Because I figure if God made me like this, God made you like this too. And if He made you, what I do know, if we won't go back, I mean, whatever you want to call it, there's always an opposite, or there's always the same, or there's always a match. And if God made you like this, He had to make somebody who could appreciate who you are and what you have too. Just as I use my mom as a as a compass. My mom, I get this little spiciness from my mom, but I could tell you, and my stepdad is not a type of person. He has very good emotional intelligence. And I'll tell you this, my mom was spicy till then, yes, but she was still respectful. He created an environment where she didn't have to act a certain way.
A safe environment.
Yes. So I watched my mom, and as a matter of fact, sometimes when he's a spank up figuratively, I'd be laughing at her. Yeah, that's good for you. Your mouth too blasted hard. That's good. But there was a comfort that she had. You understand what I'm saying? A safe space. And so she found her match. So, there's this little crazy little story where, what you call roly-polies. This little story where way back when the gods, yes, we know it's only one god. I said it's a little figurative story. Thank you. Made these things that had 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads. And so, 2 arms, cut in half. And so they would have fun together. They'd be laughing and talking about, things they want to accomplish, all this stuff. And so one day, one of the gods looked down and said, something, these roly-polies having too much fun. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to separate them. I'm going to cut them in half. And so cut in half, and one of the roly-poly rolled away and went one way. The other roly-poly rolled away, went somewhere else. And ever since that day, one roly-poly has been looking for the next roly-poly.
And my
You just ain't find your roly-poly yet?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say to you too, because it's like, all I wanted was that energy of, hey, creating that safe space for your family and fighting for it. At the same time, I wanted, when they say, put that hedge of protection over you, like, hey, you see what's happening, you hear what's happening, you know what's happening, just stand up. But I had to stand up and say, no, I don't like it. And it affected me. And because it affected me, you are painted a certain way, like you shouldn't have said it, but at the same time, it hurt me too. And everybody around y'all is just dancing around the daisy and don't want to speak about it. You see what's happening,
You know what would hurt
but
me?
you don't want to address it.
I ain't gonna tell y'all, what stand out? This whole thing, what stand out for me? This would hurt my feelings a little bit. The fact that when you guys had the family meeting and he stood up for that stand out to me.
Yeah, see, because let me tell you, persons who are Stanya, when this happened, like I said, because we were close in the fundamental realm, the sister churches and everybody, all the members who are involved, they knew the relationships we all had, right? And so when persons found out what transpired, it kind of make you feel uncomfortable as a couple, because now you're saying that, oh, it didn't happen, we were not friends, but everybody know, like, why are you trying to paint a different picture? So in essence,
Because
it's
the
like,
reality is too much, and people, you know what? Because when you face the truth requires action. So if they admit that, then they would have to say, hey, you guys was wrong for that. And then they won't, and people don't want to act. People can't take the truth. They cannot, or the version of the truth or hearing. People, when they ask for advice, I can tell you right now, they want confirmation of foolishness. They do not want to hear that, okay, this was not right, or okay, let's look at it from this angle. And that goes for all of us. That's why I said to you, even when I said, okay, Rachel, how do you think it would look for this person to pick you up, da-da-da. We all have, see, this is what self-awareness is, guys. Self-awareness is not only about you have to know yourself, being aware, but good self-awareness is actually also being aware of other people. Self-awareness is also you taking responsibility for how you show up and how it affects other people. Okay, I getting some little messages here. All right. Okay, what do we have here? I got like about 3 minutes left. Okay, hi Stanya. Is there any place that I can? Oh, you're asking me for the show. Okay. Oh Lord, it's all this now. Okay. All right. This got plenty layers, man. This got a lot of layers. Anyway, listen, we got to get out here. What's your parting words before I give my 2 cents? you got anything else you want to share?
Yeah, see, because at the end of the day, you may be whatever form of your relationship may be, right? Whether it's personal or professional. At the end of the day, understand your identity and who you are.
Right.
Right? And if something offend you, find a way to speak out about it. Sometimes it may not be always the right time to say it right there and then, but when you have that knowledge to say, okay, let me approach you and say, hey, we need to talk. Let's talk about this because X, Y, and Z affected me. What they say, the old people say, purge. I purge a lot. A lot of things transpired, and I end up purging, and I end up holding it until it became too much, and then I would have eventually exploded.
Right.
Don't purge, right? And so I find myself now speaking up for myself because I'm not going to allow you to put me back in a position. Some things I just won't say because at this point, I'm just going to, because it don't,
move forward.
Yeah, move forward from, but something that I know that is really affecting me and it's going to take a toll on me, I'm going to pull you on the side and say, we have to talk about this because this has affected me and this is how it affected me and this is how I feel about the situation, right? So I'm going to bring it up to you. So I no longer now just accept abuse mentally. Although I've never been physically, I've never been physically abused, but I'm not going to allow you to take mind control of me or change me into being somebody who I know that I am not. You help me change, but in a good way, but not me falling back to who I am. Empowerment is also important as well.
Right.
So when, just like how, for example, and for him, when he defend her, because he felt that he had to defend her, because one, everybody knew what you did, but because what happened, you had like, you know what, let me just protect you in a way, right? So in terms like knowing that you have families.
You know, this is another thing, boy, anyway, you know what, I could see people would say, okay, she was some more feminine. You know what I noticed with guys too? A lot of guys, they like, y'all gonna bun me out for this one, but I ain't give a 5 cents. I ain't give 5 cents. I've noticed that men, they like women who it makes them feel good. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, guys, but I'm just saying that I've noticed like that quote unquote strong or whatever. No, they and being feminine to some men, sometimes it looks like, you know, not only just soft spoken, but just, you know, taking it. And hey, you come with your big mouth. Mind. Right. So sometimes, that's not, so they're gonna, a lot of men, they like that. They like to feel like, okay, they like to be needed, if you understand what I mean. And so him protecting her, it's like someone who have big muscles and then someone who doesn't. And they fighting. And even though the one who don't have no muscles might be beating up the big one, but nobody's gonna run to rescue that. They see this person as the strong
But
one.
she's not soft-spoken.
She's not soft-spoken?
No, she's not.
Well, why you think he felt like
not.
he had to protect her?
Like I say, persons in the era when it happened knew exactly what transpired, right? And so you trying to say that, oh, it didn't happen when it actually did happen. So at the end of the day, you don't want to make her feel bad and you don't want to look bad. So at this point now, everybody just now ostracize themselves away from you, and everybody just like pull back, and you see that the division and the divide is there. So now you're on your own. So because you're on your own, you feel that you have to protect your family, and so that nobody's on your run per se, right? Given that nobody's on your run per se, I'm going to now be the one to protect my family.
Okay. All right, it's 2:30, boy. Dwight ain't messaged me yet. Dwight do something else. You ain't messaged me yet. Tell me get my hip off the air. I ain't got nothing to say.
And you know too, and like when you talk about the strong women too, because I was told, many times he would say, "Oh, you think you're better than anybody else? You and your family will think this or whatever." Not that I'm thinking I am, but my father has always also raised us to say that, hey, listen, know who you are and where you come from. Stand up for yourself, don't protect yourself. And so in many cases, my dad would have been a bit disappointed, like, why you never said something? Why did you not highlight what was happening so that you could have also have the support? But at the same time, I also look at it too because they are so religious. You coming from a religious background, certain things, it's like, as far as they're concerned, suck it up. You just have to deal with it because as your husband, we don't believe in divorce. We don't believe in this. We don't believe in that. So it was a rough moment. It was a rough patch. So it's not that when he made the comment to say, why after 16 years you're bringing it up. No, I'm not bringing it up. One, I was also invited. And I also made a snippet. I didn't go into any dialogue. I just brought up the thing on my TikTok, just talking about.
No, you didn't say anything. You talked about awareness and church. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just highlighted just to say that at the end of the day, be aware of your surrounding. And if you know that somebody is affected and you see how they perform and you see, hey, I'm not accustomed to you doing this, pull them on the side because there may be a bigger problem that's affecting them from performing. So for clarity, no, I'm not bringing up something over 16 years ago. I survived. And I pulled through because it was not easy. There's a lot of things that's missing in between of this, Stanya. There's a lot of mental abuse, and there was a time.
Well, I like to tell people this all the time. I don't know all the details. I know just as much as you all know, but it's normal actually when people have had a traumatic experience that they don't talk about it when it happened. They usually talk about it years and decades later. So it's actually normal. That's why you see when people who were raped or people who were sexually molested as a child, that they don't talk about it until years later. So that's actually quite the norm, guys. And I mean, like, when is a good time to talk about things? I mean, y'all got some date or time on this?
Don't.
Okay. Now, the only thing that I would say is that sometimes we just got to go do our work. We just got to go do the work. We just got to do the work. And the sooner we do the work, the sooner we really let go or whatever. Perhaps that's the time when we really saw or what have you. Anyway, guys, listen, I don't even know where to start, where to begin. This was just interesting. This was very, very interesting. This is interesting.
For something for an institution that basically put you together, also would have been an institution that put you asunder as well, in my conclusion too.
Yes. Okay, guys. John, that's why I can go start my Amazing Woman WhatsApp group on Facebook. That's what I can go do. My Amazing Woman. So we can do our own little thing together. That's what I can go do. Anyway, guys, it's been real. It's 2:33. Dwight must feel good. He messaged me to tell me get off the air. Brittany run me off the air. I know this. I got to think about this. This is in my spirit. This is heavy in my soul. I got to figure out why and why this thing feels some type of way. This is deep.
What thing?
Everything that happened today.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to call ex-hubby. Ex-hubby, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. I know when. Either I call you today or Monday. Because I got some cut up to put on some family members. We going bowling this weekend. Hi, Cousin Corey and Cousin Val. I hope y'all ready for this cut up we going to go put on y'all. But I'm going to call you ex-hubby. Yeah, I don't know. This is a funny thing. And then now I feeling a little funny about the daughter. I feel a little funny. I know. I got to search my spirit and search my soul. I feeling a little something because sometimes, guys, oh, Lord Almighty, the children really is suffer with things. It really is suffer. I won't be traumatic right now, y'all, but I don't know. Something tugging at my soul, and I ain't quite sure what it is. I got to go meditate and pray about this. I got to cycle back.
Yeah.
I cycling back, y'all. Anyhow. Thank you for listening. I gotta go get ready to go cut up my male cousins. Cousin Corey, Cousin Val, Burrows.
You better come out winning then.
I'll let y'all know who win next week. Anyway, but I gotta pray about this. This feel a little funny, Ray Ray. I don't know, I feel a little sad and heavy.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week, guys.
This is Guardian